Hola. I hope everyone's doing good. This is a second round of whatchamacallit, chatting with a Natty. How's it going, brother? I'm honestly still recovering from my last IG live earlier today. Yo,
Good day, Shaun.
good day. Good day. That's a great introduction. I'm going to start saying that. Good day.
That's it.
Are you doing cardio?
Yeah, I just finished up my chest training. Got a nice chest pump. I'm just hitting my 15 minutes post.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's good to meet you.
Good to meet you too, brother. Seen a
Are
lot of
you?
your videos already.
Yeah? Tell me
Yeah,
tell me your take on what's happening, man. I just did a IG live with Greg Doucette earlier. I'm
I
still
didn't
kind of
catch that one yet, but I've been watching more of the ones with Mr. Natty Gaines and with Creative Mind.
tell me your thoughts on what's going on.
Actually, I really like what you're trying to put out there, especially with the whole natural bodybuilding, because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand that type of movement.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of controversy within it. And I really appreciate the way you approach it, the way Mr. Natty Gaines is approaching it, and Creative Mind and the rest of the guys. Just trying to show that this is a lifestyle that we fell in love with, and we're just trying to show a different side to bodybuilding that most people don't get to see because of
Like,
how big the Mr. Olympia is and the other side of bodybuilding.
that's very well worded. I couldn't put it better myself. Um, I'm feeling like so this one with Greg that I did I don't know 2 hours ago. Sometimes like you get off a call with like you have a call like that and you need to have the energy high. He's a big profile individual and it's like, all right, this brings us closer. This conversation brings us closer to the vision. And then you get off the call and you ask yourself, okay, what are the next steps? And you realize there's like 1,000 steps.
Yeah.
like, like more
And
than
I
a
think I
thousand.
think that's a good analogy just with life in general. You feel like you've reached a certain place in life, but there's still 1,000 more steps to go, and it's a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
You think you've reached something, but you really haven't. Just got to
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I would say that like the success the success of this project, the outcome, like what that looks like to me is a huge distinction between the enhanced side of the sport and the natural side of the sport. Like they're just two different things entirely. You know, you
Hmm.
got the enhanced, and the enhanced place an overall emphasis on size, and then it's shape and conditioning, and then it's whatever else it is. You
Yeah,
know, whereas for the natural side of the sport, so far as this project is concerned, size, shape, and conditioning will always play a factor because that is the thing that we're training in the gym, and like that's the thing that we're aiming to peak. But the greatest emphasis when it comes to actual showtime will be on movement, posing, and how you present the physique that you were born with.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's pretty much what the whole natural bodybuilding, old school way of bodybuilding has always been from the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah, yeah. Because if we're thinking about our natural potential, then you can really, if we're just being completely honest and realistic, you can really only get so big. You
Yeah,
can really get only get so big.
and it
So
really depends between each individual and what they're capable of as their
correct,
natural potential, because
correct.
someone's natural potential is different than the others.
Right. So on the enhanced side of the sport, they're thinking, all right, so if the sport is called bodybuilding and you're getting judged on how big you build your body, let me take more steroids so I can get bigger, so I can be more competitive in the sport of bodybuilding, right?
Hmm.
Natural bodybuilding, yeah, keep training, train hard, get that muscle density, get as big as you possibly can, chase after your natural limits. But when you get to stage, I need you to focus on your performance.
Exactly.
I need you to focus on your presentation. And this is not a diet competition. I'm not looking for the person who's like walking on stage with like the cheek sucked in. Great job if you do that. That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking
Yeah.
for is, are you presenting yourself as a champion? And how do you create that communication to the judges? How do you create that communication to me, who's like organizing
And
this whole thing?
and with the crowd as well, right?
Correct.
I think that's another factor people don't really tap into is that you're there and there's a crowd in front of you and you have a duty to perform and put on a show and portray the emotions that you've experienced through your life through your
Mm,
movement
mm,
and posing.
mm-hmm,
And then the crowd will feel that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It becomes more of a show.
Yeah. And that's what
Yeah,
bodybuilding's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a show, a performance.
yeah.
Just like it's a weird comparison, but my girlfriend recently showed me beauty pageants and Miss Universe, and the presentation of that stuff is incredible, and bodybuilders can relate to that
And
because
it's actually
it's a show, and they're meant to put on a show for the audience,
and
not just the judges.
it's not a weird comparison at all to
It's
me.
such a yeah, it's such a. I
Yeah.
watched it for the first time, and I was like, whoa, like I can really relate to this.
Yeah. So honestly, if we're just I don't think bodybuilders want to hear this. But there's a lot of similarities between a bodybuilding competition and a pageant, a beauty
Hmm.
pageant. You can even a person could argue, I'm not going to argue, but you could argue that bodybuilding is a male beauty pageant.
You
You could
can, yeah.
argue if you wanted to. I don't care, because it's like, from my perspective, and this is why I'm incredibly passionate about the sport and the promotion of it. Natural bodybuilding represents the discipline and the daily routine that is conducive to the greatest promotion of health and wellness and longevity. If any individual on the planet were to implement the daily routine of a natural bodybuilder, they would improve their quality of life over the course of their life.
100%.
That's why I'm passionate about this sport.
I'm the same. That's why
Yeah,
I live the way I am because I also have clients with personal training and I don't put them to the standards of bodybuilding, but through my daily habits, they can follow me on my journey, improve their life just by following these simple daily routines.
correct. And you don't ever have to step on stage.
No,
If you're just implementing the same structure, training, eating, and sleeping.
that's it. Three
Literally,
basics.
literally. And if you're doing that on a consistent basis, you are improving your quality of life, and you will be
100%.
more functional. And it's an anti-aging routine, so far as like in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, you will have a greater level of health span than
Hmm.
if you were not implementing these three core fundamentals.
And the most amazing part I think about it all is it doesn't matter what age you're at, you can start and you can
Correct.
start improving your
Correct.
life.
Correct.
Like I just started helping my mom on her weight loss journey because she's been really struggling her whole life. And within 2 weeks, she lost 5 pounds just by following diet, no
Mm-hmm.
training, no gym, nothing. And it just
Yeah.
goes to show you, you just have to start doing the work.
So,
And it's
and
not as hard as people think.
yes, and I agree. And I agree. And this is why it's like, when it comes to the promotion of this project, I'm looking to cast all around the world. So if we're looking, and I've spoken to, okay, so my son, he's half Mexican, right? He's a 5 year
Hmm.
old, half Mexican. And I have been exposed to the Mexican culture. What a lot of people from that culture say, the diets are terrible. A lot of fat, a lot of lard,
Hmm.
a lot of like high calorie foods that are like, literally, like you're putting fat on your body every time you sit down to have like a Mexican meal, right?
Hmm.
So my thinking is, if we want to improve the quality of life and have people around the world focusing on their health and wellness and longevity, we need a Mexican natural bodybuilder to compete for the crown of the Natty King and compete for the title of the next sports icon coming out of bodybuilding. Then we've
Yeah,
got that guy,
100%.
and then the Mexican community, they can look at him and go like, "Oh my God, this guy is in incredible shape. Look at how he
Yes.
moves. Look at his posing. Look at this role model who is from our culture and is able to achieve such heights naturally."
To remove those stigmas.
Correct. And we do that over and over again in different communities, different people with different walks of life, and
Exactly.
that's how we change the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm from Canada. And I know there's other guys on this community in Canada. One of them is my posing coach.
Shout out
And it's
Yoshi.
just it's cool to see. Yeah, Yoshi's incredible. The things I've
Yeah,
learned from him, because I was already pretty good at posing. It was something that I fell in love with. That's why I fell in love with bodybuilding. But you can always level up.
yeah.
So going to work with him really helped me level up on my presentation and just working in silence, doing the work when no one's watching. And then
I
when
want
it's
to,
time to go on stage, I know
yeah.
that my package will be 10 times more improved than last time.
I want to talk a bit more about posing, and I'm so freaking grateful for Yoshi. I think I told him I think he's the future of the sport. I
100%.
genuinely, yeah, like his level of passion for posing, and so far as this project is concerned, everything's going to posing. Because if you're asking yourself the question, so sports present an athlete performing. Like that's the nature of sports. You train, you improve, and then you perform. And then
Hmm.
you practice the way that you play. So what is a bodybuilder playing? What are they performing? You tell me. It's like
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan considered the greatest basketball player of all time. He was lifting weights just like a bodybuilder was after he was getting knocked around by the Detroit Pistons over and over again, and he wanted to win championships. And he's like, okay, I need to put some meat on my bones. I need to add some lean tissue. So let me get in the gym. The
Hmm.
performance is not lifting weights.
No,
His performance was playing basketball, and he was practicing playing basketball and then performing to play basketball. So where like what is the performance of a bodybuilder?
that's what all the greats do. Another
Correct.
example is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes.
The guy was
Yes.
shredded, looked good, but he wanted to put on more size because he was getting hammered in the Premier League. He started training every single day, and
Thank
look what
you.
he's become.
And this is exactly my point. This is exactly my point. Bodybuilding, the performance is not lifting weights. That's just the job of an athlete.
Yeah,
That's just the job of any athlete.
the performance is the posing, is the presentation.
Yes. Yes.
And
So,
that's what I've seen in bodybuilding, even in the pro divisions. That's what people lack the most.
yeah.
It's that
Because
posing.
because they're still thinking bodybuilding is training in the gym. But we got to hammer it home, and like we're hitting it like right now. It's like every athlete's supposed to train in the gym.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what sport.
Yeah. So like
Training
let's
fundamentals are all the same throughout every sport.
correct.
Maybe
Correct.
okay, football, soccer, you have to do more agility stuff, but that's practicing on your performance. Lifting the
Correct.
weights, everything is supposed to help the muscle mass
Yes.
build up and get
Yes.
stronger.
Yeah. Most sporting events will require some form of resistance training.
Yeah,
Period. So we got to get on the same page. Like the entire natural bodybuilding, forget the enhanced. I don't care about the enhanced. I really don't care.
I feel you.
The entire natural bodybuilding community has to get on the same page that training in the gym is not the performance of a natural bodybuilder. Like we gotta,
That's the everyday in and out.
that's the world. The entire world. If you want to consider
It's like
yourself an
waking up every day, going to work.
correct,
But then you have to come home and take care of your family, but that's not part of your
correct,
work. That's part of your life.
correct.
That's how you
Yeah,
show up.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's how you show up. So if you're an athlete and you're pursuing the best version of yourself, resistance training is just a non-starter. It's
Hmm.
it's it's a given. You have to resistance train. You have to improve. So let's arrive at what is the performance of bodybuilding. If basketball is playing basketball and then you train in the gym to improve your ability to play basketball, soccer, same thing, hockey, same thing, then what is the
Baseball,
performance?
everything.
Exactly. What's the performance of bodybuilding?
It's posing.
Exactly. 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 So, with that in mind, I feel like, and obviously I need to do a deeper dive, and maybe you can help, but like bodybuilding's been around for decades and decades and decades. Have we just scratched the surface of since I feel like we're just now, you and I, and this like the world of bodybuilding is just now starting to understand that the performance of a bodybuilder is not the presentation of their physique. Because that's pageantry. That is
Hmm.
pageantry. So, like, are we a pageant or are we a sport? If it's a sport, then we focus on performance. We don't focus on, hey, these are my big muscles. That's not a sport, guys. That is not a sport. That's a pageant. Are you guys in a beauty pageant or are you competing in a sport? If we're focused on sporting events, it's performance and it's movement and it's posing. So I ask you the question, are we at 2025, just now scratching the surface of what posing is supposed to be in relation to this sport and having it be the focal point? Or are we just rediscovering the fact that posing was always supposed to be at the forefront of this sport?
I think we're rediscovering because look at Frank Zane, Steve Reeves, Arnold, all these guys between the 1950s until the 1990s. Every bodybuilder focused on performance,
Yeah.
going up on stage and wowing the people.
Ed Corney. Let's not forget Ed Corney.
All of them. There's so many.
Yeah.
You can list at least 100 guys
Yeah. Yeah.
and continue the list.
Yeah.
All of Brent Francis Benfato. Oh my God, I don't even know. There's too many guys. You get lost trying
Francis
to.
Benfato. Good name call. Good name call.
There's so many of them, and
Paris Demur.
that's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, but it's like
Lee Labrada.
there's Lee Labrada.
Yeah, no,
There's another one I can't remember, but he was a really big inspiration to me. But yeah, the list goes on and on and on and on.
okay. All right. So we're
And we're
rediscovering.
rediscovering what bodybuilding was always from the beginning.
Okay. This is great. This makes me feel better, actually. This actually makes me feel better because I feel like if this is just like the first time we're discovering it, I feel like you guys are dumb. like we're
Nah,
like but all right, okay, so let me ask you the question. How
to
did
be
it
honest, this is my experience. I did not fall in love with bodybuilding because of the training, because of coming to the gym. I fell in love with bodybuilding because I started to watch the performances of Frank Zane, Steve Reeves, and all of these guys and how they would show up on stage. And that's what appealed to me. That's the art that I wanted to learn. The
Agreed.
gym, getting stronger, getting bigger, that just helped me build my confidence to be able to go on stage and to put that performance on
And again, it goes back to why was Michael Jordan training? Why was he doing resistance training? Because he wanted to get better at
and
his
perform at his
performance.
best.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's a supplement.
Yeah,
Resistance training is a
exactly.
supplement, just like in the same way that resistance training can be considered a supplement to the performance of life.
Yeah.
If you
Just
trained,
general health.
yes, yes. So, oh my God, I love this. I love this. Okay. So we're rediscovering that posing and movement was always at the forefront of bodybuilding. Let us understand because we'll be using this in docuseries and like we gotta make this clear to not just us but everyone else.
To everyone, yeah.
How did it get so far away from what it was supposed to be about? Because Arnold
There's a
Schwarzenegger, he was taking ballet lessons.
Yeah, you see it in Pumping Iron.
Yeah. So like, how did it become like? How did we forget? How did the sport forget?
Not to hate on him, but the big turning point was Dorian Yates.
Okay.
Because Dorian Yates smoked everyone.
Yeah. Mass monster.
The Sean Rays, the
Yeah.
all those guys from that era, they still focused. Yes, they were getting really big, but they were still focused on that streamlined look and the posing. And
I
then I
see.
guess after that era kind of faded, we seen all these mass monsters,
I
and it
see.
was just about being freaky and flexing hard and being
Boom.
that wow, holy
Okay.
fuck.
All right. So let's go through the ages real quick. Let's look at the champions. We had Arnold Schwarzenegger in his six-time reign. Then he leaves. Frank Zane becomes a three-time Mr. Olympia champion. And then I think he comes back. And then Arnold wins again. Then Franco Colombo. And then it's
And Lee
Samir.
Haney.
No, no.
Oh,
So yeah,
Samir
yeah.
first. Samir,
Samir, who was super
one of
like
my favorites. One of my
Samir's
favorites.
dope, completely underrated. Um,
Incredible personality, everything.
yeah,
He was like a
just dope.
showman.
Yeah, dope. And then we get to Lee Haney's reign, and like he just starts dominating. I don't even know. I know so little about Lee Haney's reign. Like, there's not people don't really talk about that era of bodybuilding because it was
Yeah,
so
it's not one of the
dominant.
most talked about.
Yeah,
That's for
because
sure.
I believe it's because he was so dominant. And if you think about sporting events in general, it's personalities and rivalries, right? So if Lee Haney is just like this super humble, down to earth,
Yeah, there
grounded
was really no
guy,
rivalry.
exactly, exactly. And like we're not going to turn Lee Haney into a star, because it's like he's Lee Haney, right? So that era of Lee Haney winning is like largely overlooked. I don't know what kind of posing was happening during that time. I know that Lee Labrada was competing against Lee Haney.
There was
Uh,
still a lot of credible guys in
yes,
terms of
yeah,
posing.
yeah, yeah. So then Dorian Yates is coming. He's nipping at the heels. I believe he got second the last year that Lee Haney won.
I
So
believe so, yeah.
yeah, so Lee Haney retires, and now it becomes the Dorian Yates era.
The mass
and
monster
yeah, the mass monster
era.
era. He was
And
the
then
big.
you
Keep
have
going.
Ronnie Coleman.
And now it's over. And now it's
And
over.
credit to those guys. Those guys were incredible. There's a lot to be inspired about. But you definitely have to pinpoint that as the turning point.
Yeah, the mass monster era. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, the good news is that if you don't use steroids, there is no mass monster era within natural bodybuilding.
Yeah. You can't
That's
get to that super freaky look.
no. We've got athletes on this roster, the Natty King roster, who have like incredibly amazing genetics, like Oscar Moscat, who actually he doesn't like when I use his his government name, so I'll call him the professor. The professor, his genetics are insane, and I don't think my physique will ever catch up to his so far as size is concerned.
Yeah.
But if we're not making size the top priority of natural bodybuilding, then I'm not going to say his physique becomes irrelevant, but he
Yeah.
has to learn how to present and move his physique in a way that is compelling, captivating, and
And
communicates.
I think that's a big emphasis that each individual is going to be different, and
Hmm.
that's exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
We want to differentiate each person for their strengths and what they're known for.
Right. Right.
Just like the old school days were like Frank Zane, we know Frank Zane for being that super streamlined, not the biggest guy, but perfect symmetry, proportion, and pulling off that illusion.
I like that. And then something I've always thought about. So when it comes to bodybuilding, all right. So Ronnie Coleman, perfect example, or even Dorian Yates, it doesn't even matter. So it's the same judges at the Mr. Olympia every single time, right? So Ronnie Coleman wins 1 year, and the criteria that the judges are looking for, Ronnie Coleman meets. So then when he comes back the next year, and it's the same judges, it's the same criteria, which means if Ronnie Coleman shows up at his best,
He
it's
wins.
yeah,
And
because
that's
it's
basically what kept happening.
exactly. And I think it's interesting so far as the enhanced side of the sport is it's interesting now because there's no clearly defined recurring champion over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Sam just said, "What if there was 3 crowns?" That's something to play with. That's something to play with. I would want you to elaborate on that, Sam. Um, I think there should be like one central figure because I'm all about like um, I don't know. I like one title, everyone like going for one title, kind of like do you fuck with anime at all?
I like the concepts. I never watched it or got into it, but I
Okay.
definitely I fuck with it, honestly.
Something about a singular focus and having everyone like focus on that one
Try to
thing.
reach that pinnacle.
Yeah, pinnacle. So like the Natty King title to me, it's a crown, it's a title, it's a $1 million cash prize, but more than all of those things, it's a focus. It draws attention. I'm going to be the Natty King, and anyone who is a natural athlete has the option to pursue that title, that vision, right?
Hmm.
Um, Getting a bit off topic because I was trying to answer to say what were we saying?
We were talking about the turning points.
Yeah, Turning Point, Ronnie Coleman. Oh, yeah. So the same judging criteria, same judges, same judging criteria, and then it creates this repetition of it's the same champion winning over and over and over again. And the way that the sport of bodybuilding on the enhanced side progressed, it became a mass monster, and it became whoever's the biggest will win. Ronnie Coleman had the genetics and the work ethic to achieve the biggest
Yeah,
physique
100%.
and now he's an 8 time Mr. Olympia champion because that's what the judging criteria was, right?
Hmm.
So I would say within this promotion, this storyline that we're creating, I would love to ask you if we're putting a greater emphasis on posing and we're thinking of our favorite posers in the world. We're thinking of Lee Labrada, we're thinking of Ed Corney, we're thinking of Samir Banu, Frank Zane, Francis Benfato. Let's say I just named 5 great posers.
Hmm.
And if you can recall some of their best posing routines, right? And let's say they're all competing for the Natty King title. Granted, they're not natural, but it doesn't matter. They're all competing for the Natty King title, and they all understand that posing is taking the forefront of this competition. How are we deciding of those 5 guys, yo, this guy deserves the title?
It's a tough question, but
I know, right?
yeah, it's a really tough question because they can all come out and perform at their top, posing
Yeah,
wise,
yeah,
and then you're just there like, holy fuck, who do we choose?
yeah, yeah. It is interesting. It is interesting. Yeah, and like this is I've been like after the conversation with Greg, I've been kind of just staring off into space for the past 2 hours, and I've been thinking of figure skating. Figure skating is a very subjective sport too, but it's also very technical.
Hmm.
So the Olympics, figure skating is an Olympic recognized sport in the Winter Olympics, right?
Hmm.
So I think of stars like Johnny Weir, and I'm thinking of him doing a routine, and they're looking for like perfection and flawless execution of their routine.
And the difficulty of the
Difficulty,
tricks.
the difficulty of the tricks, right? And if I'm not mistaken, they put the routine in prior to the performance. So the judges have like absolutely full understanding as to what the routine is going to be. And now
And
they're
how well they executed.
correct, correct. So maybe, maybe that's where we start driving it to. Because if we're, again, we're looking at the performance aspect of bodybuilding, and if we're relating it to figure skating, Johnny Ware, he's training, he's doing resistance training so he can get his triple axels in the air and stuff like that. And he's practicing his choreography, and it's getting more complex, and he's working with a coach to like refine it and get really perfect with the execution. He submits his routine to the judges, and they go, "Oh, this is a pretty complex routine. Let's see how well he pulls it off."
I could see where you're coming from there, but
Yeah,
definitely with bodybuilding is much more difficult because you almost want the wow factor, and like you don't really want to know what this person's about to do. You want it to just reveal itself in real time.
and I'm not even fully sold on choreography. I kind of like I'm sort of a big fan of improv.
Improv.
Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. If it becomes like super strict and it's like there's no opportunity for improvisation outside of the submitted choreo that you just gave the judges, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely fits into the skating aspect of judging, but I don't,
Hmm.
maybe not in bodybuilding.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got to figure out a way. How would we differentiate between Francis Benfato, Lee Labrada, Ed Corney? Like, how do we do this? You know, and we don't have to figure it out today, but that's
It's
the
just
question.
questions to keep in mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then perhaps maybe that's when conditioning comes into play. Maybe if we've got those five top posers and they all do like a bang up job,
Hmm.
but of those five, maybe Frank Zane was the most conditioned. All right, well, shit. These guys killed it on their posing. Let's. What else? What else do we have to look at? All right, Frank Zane. His conditioning is like he's clearly 4% body fat.
Hmm.
These other guys are 6%. So Frank Zane, you won. Like I don't know. I'm just asking questions here.
Yeah, those you definitely have to look at the characteristics and those
Mm-hmm.
aspects because that's part of bodybuilding:
Mm-hmm.
conditioning, size, symmetry, how well proportioned the body is.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, and now let's hop off the stage for a second because I've been thinking a lot about this, and I love kind of bouncing this idea off of you. Is again, we're going back to performance, and my overall goal, my time in bodybuilding, my goal is I want to get the athletes paid. I think that the fact that bodybuilding makes money off of the athletes is an incredibly flawed system, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It's like, how long has this sport been around, and you guys haven't figured out a way to pay the athletes?
Yeah, it's very very hard for these guys to make a living.
Yeah, so it's like, and it's a cool sport. Like, it's a really cool sport. It improve. Like, don't even get me started.
A hundred
But
percent.
yeah, I'm here now, so we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. So going back to performance, and like that's the nature of any sporting event is you're displaying an athletic prowess by way of performing. I also ask myself the question, okay, so what is an actual performance? And then I start looking at like icons across like the entire sporting landscape. Johnny Weir being considered a star within figure skating, Michael Jordan being considered a star within basketball, Arnold Schwarzenegger being considered an icon within the sport of bodybuilding. What else is he doing outside of that moment on stage? Because if you think about the fact that an Arnold Schwarzenegger type figure, he is not performing daily in the same way that Michael Jordan is. So
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan has an opportunity to show off his performance weekly, if not almost daily, over the course of his basketball season.
Yeah.
So more eyes, more attention, and more opportunity for the spectators to drop their jaw at the performance quality of Michael Jordan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and bodybuilders don't have that luxury because they're not competing as often as a basketball player. So, what other aspects of their lifestyle do we get to actually perceive as that of a performance? And that's where the WWE, are you familiar with that WWE universe?
A little
Yeah?
bit.
Okay. That's where I would say the WWE concept kind of plays a role in the better promotion and monetization of natural athletes around this project, around
Yeah.
who will wear the crown of the Natty King. Performance on the night matters, conditioning on the night matters, your effort and your training intensity, all that matters. But if we're only doing one night and we're thinking about performance over the course of, let's say, a year,
Then you
one
kind of
night,
have to look at social influence.
correct. Dude, you're smart. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Like
see where this,
Arnold is a bodybuilder, but you can literally watch him every single day because he's in so many movies. So he's
mm-hmm.
found a way to be on your TV constantly
Exactly.
through film, through being an
Exactly.
actor.
Yeah.
And Steve Reeves was actually the first bodybuilder to
Mm-hmm.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't
Mm-hmm.
Arnold. Arnold actually credits most of his success and vision to Steve Reeves because Steve Reeves set that path
Yeah.
forward
And,
for
and
him.
let's also not forget Arnold's mentor, Reg Park, I want to say.
Yes, Reg
Reg Park.
Park.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're right on the money. And we're talking about like social influence now, which could be in and of itself its own form of performance.
Hmm.
How would we, and this is why I've been spending the past 2 hours just kind of decompressing from the conversation I had with Greg. I asked him, okay, so how do we make natural bodybuilding more entertaining? And he just flat out said, you need to make the natural bodybuilders famous.
That's basically, yeah.
Yeah, you need
He
stars.
hit it
And
on the nail, though.
yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah. So then, as a producer, storyteller, showrunner, and facilitator of this whole movement, now the question is, how do I turn natural bodybuilding athletes into famous stars and icons?
That's a very good question.
I know the answer. It just requires a whole lot of money.
Yeah,
Eventually,
production
production.
and
Exactly.
them on camera and showing the world what it's about.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that
And
definitely requires a lot of money because you gotta like follow these people around with a camera and
yes,
a whole
yes,
production team.
yes. Someone in the comments just said personal branding. 100% correct.
Yeah.
So, like, I got off the call with Greg and I was just like, oh, there's a lot of work to.
And then it also comes down how much the individual does on their own because personal brand it has to do a lot with what you do on your own time
Yeah, yeah,
and not what a production company or a social
yeah.
media agent is doing.
So the way I would like to the most idealistic version of this project, the most realized version, is we have 30 athletes. We've got, let's say, a budget $5 million, $1 million payout to the actual winner of the King of
Hmm.
Naturals tournament, and then we've got $4 million just for like production, um, content, marketing, personal branding, the whole thing. And we would have a production team, a social media team who works with each athlete to
Yeah,
turn them into stars.
100%.
And dude, that's a giant. That's a giant.
That's massive work. Yeah, it's
Yeah, we're
not like
talking.
oh let's
Yeah,
do it. There's so much
yeah.
preparation to get that even started.
It's a giant. It's a giant.
Never mind just thinking about it.
Correct. Correct. And that's where it's like, oh yeah, man. So we're eyeing and like we're eyeing. June 2029 for this thing, right? We want to crown the Natty King in June 2029. The big question is, can we create a content machine in the next 2 years where we can actually pump out the quality, the level, and the volume of content that actually turns 30 natural bodybuilders into superstars?
Sensations.
Yeah, sensations. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. If I were to, like, in my networking, because I'm getting better and better at networking, right? If in my travels I were to sit down with Dana White, right, and I were to pitch this idea to Dana White, and he likes it because he's investing in Power Slap right now, right?
Hmm.
So if I pitch this idea, the Natty King, give him this whole storyline as to, like, the future of bodybuilding needs to be a natural athlete, yada yada yada. And he's like, yeah, I can see the potential. All right, I got $10 million I can put into this, and then draw up a contract. Now we've got $10 million to play with. Fantastic, let's do this thing. There's a possibility that works out, 100%. The question I ask myself is, what needs to happen between now and me sitting down with a Dana White type character, so that when I do sit down with Dana White, we've got some metrics, we've got some impressions, we've got some
There's
level
a
of
foundation built.
exactly. Because if there's anything I've learned in the past year, the idea is fantastic. The Natty King needing to be crowned to save the fitness industry and revolutionize the sport of bodybuilding is a fantastic idea. But if you're not immersed in the world of bodybuilding and fitness industry, these people who have money to invest in this project, they want to see numbers. They want to see,
Yeah.
like, okay, well, show me proof of concept. Like,
Yeah. The foundation has to be ready.
yeah.
It
Someone
can't just
asked,
be an idea.
yeah, someone asked the question, how you make the revenue back? Views, views. So,
Views,
yeah, views,
people's attention.
people's attention, just like any other TV show. And if,
Yeah.
if we present it in the format, this is a show, it's a show. So it's like, if we're presenting it on, whether it be YouTube, Netflix, anything, a docuseries, a cinematic docuseries showcasing the development and the larger than life personas of these 30 natural bodybuilders, that is the project or the product. Then the way that you make your money back is on how many people are watching this product.
How much
And
attention you bring towards it. Yeah.
correct. And then you get to use product placements, sponsors. You get to have, like, companies like Red Bull and Harley Davidson, and however WWE does their marketing, and they do, like, their sponsorships and product placement. And for the long haul, very much correct. So yeah, that's the infrastructure that is, like, the realized version. But again, we go back to, if this is the ground floor and this is where we are currently, what resources do we currently have at our disposal in order to generate the type of buzz, excitement, numbers, metrics that when I sit down with a Dana White type personality, they go like, oh, okay, I like the concept and I can see the work that you've already done. And now you just need the next level, which is like an investment.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's like, if we can make this, if we can start making money now before we get an investor, that would almost ensure that we get an investor. Because if we're already making money, it's kind of like Shark Tank. It's like they're
Yeah.
asking the questions like, okay, well, how much have you made on this product? We have made $100,000 in the past 12 months. Okay, and you've made 100K based off of yada yada yada. And what are you asking for? Like, that's where we're at now.
Yeah. Basically,
That's where we're at.
you
So
explained that perfectly.
yeah, yeah,
It's crazy to talk about, but like definitely putting it into reality and
mm-hmm.
making it a reality is a
Mm-hmm.
whole other conversation.
Yeah, man.
And these are the important conversations that you need to have to bring
Yeah.
these visions to life.
And dude, I'll be completely honest with you, man. The majority of this year, I had so much fun just, like, talk about the concept. Oh, this is such a cool idea. We're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be great. And then I turned 34 last month, September 6th, and I stopped smoking weed. And I was like, okay, we gotta
No
get to
way. I can
yeah,
relate to you, brother. I just stopped smoking weed 3 months ago
yeah,
and I just turned 30 in July.
exactly,
And my,
exactly.
I like the difference. And the way I look at life now is it's so incredible.
Yes, exactly.
Like I smoked weed for 12 years and I struggled with this need and want to stop,
Mm-hmm.
to say like
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I would say it was about 2 years thinking like, okay, I need to stop smoking this.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
it just one day I just stopped. And
Yep.
now it's like 3 months later and I'm like, fuck, I'm so grateful.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. And since I've quit, it's like, for me, the weed was like, dude, you're gonna be successful. You're gonna do everything that you ever dreamed of. All your dreams are gonna come true. Go to sleep. You're good. You're good. Right?
But in reality, your mind has to be so clear to be able to do the work to get to where you
Correct.
want to be.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that's what weed kind of stops you. It clouds your mind.
Agreed.
It fills you with these thoughts of
Mm-hmm.
complacency.
Correct. Correct. So now we're on the other side of it, 2 months sober, and we get to have conversations like these where, yes, conceptually speaking, the idea is wonderful. Changes the world of bodybuilding, and improves the incentivization of pursuing your natural human potential. That's what this project is centered around. Now that we're sober and we understand the amount of work that's ahead, now we have conversations like these of like, okay, what are we able to accomplish right now? What are we able to accomplish right now? There's a comment saying, I work with a lot of investors, and the question Araf, but so long, you have a great background and study numbers coming in. They're not going to ask you later more. LOL, just the percentage change. I didn't, not the best grammatically comment, but I kind of get what you're saying, which is basically saying like, have as much infrastructure and answers available so that by the time you sit down with an investor, you can, like, again, it goes back to Shark Tank, honestly.
Yeah, you can answer any of those really difficult questions
Yeah, yeah,
instead of
yeah,
being on the spot and not knowing what to say. You know exactly what to pull out.
yeah. So going back to like what we're able to do right now, beyond just having these conversations, which I see a lot of value in, just because I have a desire to meet with the natural bodybuilding, haha German. No, no worries, bro. I appreciate you you listening in, and offering any kind of feedback that you have. Um, but beyond just having these kinds of conversations, which I get a lot of value from, just because I get to meet people like you and brainstorm and spitball, I really need to start asking the question: how do we start making a more entertaining presentation of this story beyond just IG lives? Because like that's
Yeah.
not going to cut it. People like to see, they have short attention spans. They want to see flashy. They want to see like something engaging, and an IG live discussion, people's attention spans are like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So they
And
need
that's
more
the
than,
difficult part that you kind of have to figure out because we live in this world where everything's just bop, 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 bop. Quick,
mm-hmm,
quick,
mm-hmm.
quick, quick.
Yeah,
So we have to find a way to pull people's attention, regardless
correct.
if we're making these longer videos or
Mm-hmm.
if they're quick videos.
Yeah. So I think working with already established platforms is a good strategy. So working with Greg Doucette, great. How do we repurpose the IG Live with Greg Doucette that creates greater exposure? So then it's basically taking a clip from a Greg Doucette video that we're having together, and now I'm responding to that. So there's a moment where he says, if you're a natural bodybuilder and you're being accused of fake natty, like that should be expected. If you're not, then you're not doing your job correctly, right? So we
Hmm.
take a clip like that, and then we show the athletes that are on the Natty King roster, and we're showing like all of these guys look like fake natties, and we're doing that with the voiceover of Greg Doucette while I'm talking to Greg Doucette, and now we have a clip.
Hmm.
And that would kind of be the next phase of content creation, where we're just kind of intersplicing these IG lives with the actual athletes who we're talking about within the IG lives, something like that. Yeah, yeah,
That
agreed.
makes sense.
Yeah, so I think that's the next step forward. And then at some point, oh yeah, yeah. So we keep working with famous people. Greg Doucette, send this type of content over to, like, if we can start working with like Jeff Nippard, Jesse James West, Will Tennyson, maybe Dr. Mike Israetel, even though he's in a lot of hot water right now. But individuals of that level of
Influence.
notoriety, influence, right? we start working with those types of individuals, and then that creates a greater amount of exposure. And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, we create an incentive for people to want to work with us. And then like we kind of create our own sort of movement. We create our own kind of flow. People are coming to us because they see who we're working with. And now we kind of catapult up to this level of social recognition and status.
100%.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like we have a
Sounds
heading.
easy.
Yeah. Well, we've got Greg. So we just
And
need to
that's,
keep.
yeah, just about getting people on board that see what
Yeah.
you're trying to envision to the world and
Yeah.
bring forth, and
Yeah.
they can back it up and be on board.
Yeah. I think it's just making more friends with people who are already established and then repurposing those collaborations to make more and more friends. And then eventually we start getting recognized in that same echelon of, influence.
And then
Once,
each athlete has more influence, more views. People are
mhm,
paying attention to them.
correct, correct. And then once that happens, and we can totally do that over the next 2 years. 100% we can totally do that
Yeah,
over the
of
next two
course.
years. Yeah. So by the time we do all that, we get maybe 100,000 subscribers on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and now we have something to present to an investor. This is the work that we've completed over the past 2 years, and we're asking for this investment to take it to the next level, and your ROI will be product placement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
100%.
Yeah. All right.
Just gotta
Nice,
sit
man.
with it, keep letting it marinate.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, you got anything for me? Like I feel pretty happy.
I think just keep believing in the vision, having faith. I think faith is a big factor within everybody's life, especially with a lot of the athletes that have accomplished what they've accomplished already.
You
You have a dream and you really keep working towards it.
Amen. Amen. I saw on your Instagram account that you do breath work.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So about 3 years ago, let me go a little bit back. So like when I was 18, I got into the gym, fell in love with bodybuilding, but I had this fear of going on stage,
Mm.
and I confronted that fear, and it was like the greatest feeling I've ever felt. And that's what really pulled me into bodybuilding. I kind of got lost on that path and got really deep into like conspiracies and spirituality. It led me to Costa Rica, where I'm not going to touch into the story because it's very long, but something happened in Costa Rica. And when I came back to Canada, I basically just gave up on a lot of these dreams I had about competing and becoming a bodybuilder. And it was only about 3 years ago when I was introduced to breathwork and I did my first full breathwork session, which was like 3 hours long. And I had like this explosion of negative energy just come out of me. And all of these dreams came back. And it wasn't just these dreams came back, it's like I felt this faith that I could get back into the gym and to build myself back up because I felt so down that I spent 6 years away from training, and that really bothered me. And it bothered me to a point where I wouldn't try to get back up until I found this breath work and I started to practice it, put it into practice, and eventually becoming a breathwork facilitator really helped me. And then 2 years ago, I started my bodybuilding journey again, using these things that I learned with the breath in my training, in my everyday life, and just being able to pull energy from where we are, this reality, whatever you want to call it, because there's energy all around us. And
Hmm.
our breath is the key to everything. And you see athletes within sporting events, they're what do they always do? Calm down, breathe, because this breath it controls our nervous system. So if we can control our breathing, we can control the thoughts that are running through our brain and kind of redirect our negative thinking to a more positive thinking through the power of the breath. And that's kind of why I fell in love with breathwork, because you can use it within any aspect of your life, whether it's business, just being at home, in training, everything. And it really helped me get back into the gym. And last year I did 2 competitions, which has led me into this year. I did a full off season. I've been off. I haven't gone on stage this whole year, and that was my intention, was just to stick to the fundamentals, the work, the dieting, the sleeping, and to build myself up to where I want to be so I can go back on stage and continue that journey going,
I
because it
love it.
truly is a passion for me to just live this lifestyle.
Hmm.
And I don't do this for clout, for money, for anything. I just genuinely want to live this lifestyle because of the people that influenced me when I was young and gave me these visions and these dreams, like Steve Reeves, Frank Zane, my old friends that had brought me to the gym for the first time, the little child inside of me that, you know, we all have an inner child within us that still dreams big. And I think a big factor within life is we get old and we disconnect from that side of ourselves, the playfulness, the the enthusiasm to just be alive, to breathe. We lose that touch within ourselves, but that's something that everybody has access to tap into, and that's kind of what breathwork allowed me to tap back into, was that playfulness, that inner child who believed in themselves, who wanted more for their life.
What's the duration of a typical breath work session? How long?
Um, I I do a lot of sessions on Zoom calls, and they usually run between an hour to an hour 20, an hour 30. And
Interesting.
I was doing a lot of them with Josh Yoshi, and we had incredible sessions. And it's
Wow.
something that I think bodybuilders really need to tap into. It's not just breathing in the gym and learning how to breathe, but actually using music, because I basically create a playlist, and within this playlist we go on a journey through different breathing techniques, and we get deeper into like this meditative state where you can actually tap into old events in your life that maybe are holding you back from moving forward, because the way you think about this event, you're thinking about it in a negative light. And there's a lot of trauma people go through. We all going to go through trauma. And I think the importance is realizing why that trauma happened and removing the negative context that we have towards it and being grateful for it and using that as the fuel to move forward.
I love it, man.
And a lot of people struggle with that because we don't have the tools. We're not taught these things.
I think I think that's a beautiful segment, and I'm sold.
Let's do a session,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
After this, I'll hit you up. We can schedule something.
Okay, I'm absolutely down. And I would even I've been talking, and it's just the truth. There's pre-financing or pre-budget and post-budget. So when I listen to you talk, I want everything in post-budget. Like I just think the presentation of this entire story is just so much cooler with a budget.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to play within the confines or the means that I currently have access to. So it's like, okay,
100%.
how do we do this without a budget, and then how do we really do it with a budget? And like this is it. This is it. This is what we're doing over the next couple of years. So
Let's get
I
it.
love it.
I really appreciate this opportunity as well to talk to you, to
Yeah.
be a part of this community, and to help this vision come to life as well, because I'm fully on board.
I've been actually interested in working with a person who does breath work for 4 or 5 months now. So
Here to help, brother.
let's do it. Let's do it, man. I'm down.
All right, brother. Let's get it.
Okay, well, I got leg day. This is fantastic. This was like a kind of like a pick me up, so I'm very grateful for that.
Amazing. I'm glad.
Yeah,
Leg day's always tough, so,
yeah, yeah. We'll get it in. I think it'll be a good workout.
but it's honestly one of the most rewarding days.
Yeah, very much agree.
Put your music on, breathe. Nasal breathing is the most powerful concept that we can tap into, especially with training.
I'm feeling.
When you feel
Yeah.
gassed, I'm sure like we've all, as a bodybuilder, we've all been in
Uh.
that situation where we just
Uh.
did a set and it
Yeah.
feels like our heart's gonna explode and you're gonna pass out.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you need to focus your attention to your breath
Okay.
and slowing everything down. And then all of a sudden your energy's back up
Mm.
and you get into the next set with full power.
Do you live near Yoshi?
No, I'm in Ontario, in Toronto.
Okay. Where is he at?
Manitoba, I believe.
Okay. I'm
Just
getting
the
like,
province over.
yeah. There's such a
We're neighbors.
community that I'm like getting, like I'm meeting so many Canadian athletes. Like I almost want to like just spend a month in Canada, just
Don't
like
come in
meet
the
him.
winter, but
Copy, copy, copy. And Greg's over in Canada.
unless you want to do some cold plunging, because I also help
No,
people with
I
cold
hate cold
plunging.
plunging. I hate cold plunging. We can talk
I
about that
haven't
later.
been, yeah, I haven't done too many of that, but breath work is
Cool.
what's more important. But
I'm down,
yeah,
man. I'm
definitely,
down.
definitely try to come to Toronto to Canada because it's a beautiful country. I don't think we get enough recognition.
Hmm.
And to be honest, I hate the beef that America and Canada has. We should all be together as
Preaching
one.
to the choir, man. Preaching to the choir. I'm all about world harmony. All right. Well, this is freaking beautiful. I'm excited to work with you in the future. I'll just leave a little tidbit that it always stuck with me that Tom Platz, Tom Platz.
Tom Platz,
It
yeah, I love
always
him.
it always stuck with me that he was working with a hypnotherapist to induce him to train harder.
Yeah,
And
hypnotherapy is another thing
exactly.
that's,
So
oof, what a world that is.
yeah, I'm looking to capture all of this. Like this is the story of natural human evolution. Forget about the steroids. Any individual that is a part of this Natty King movement, this Natty King village, we are all focused on peaking ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually.
You got
Breathwork
it.
becomes a part of it. Hypnotherapy becomes a part of it. We have access to so many tools. It's up to
There's
the
so many
athlete.
tools. Yeah,
Yeah, it becomes up to the athlete to determine what tools they want to utilize in order to chase after the best versions of themselves. That's how we
exactly.
promote this movement.
I
So
love it.
happy to work with you.
Let's get it, Sean.
Cool, man. Enjoy
All
the rest of your
right,
day, and we're
time to
gonna
meal
talk
prep.
soon. Yeah, let's get it. All right, bro.
Later, brother. Peace.
Take care.